Final of the women's coxless pair. In lane 1 is Australia 2. In lane 2 it is a crew from Denmark. In lane 3 Great Britain, Dot Blackie and Cath Bishop. In lane 4 Canada, the reigning world champions Emma Robinson and Alison Korn. Lane 5 is Australia 1, and closest to your picture Russia in lane 6. Looking at the Canadians now going away in lane 4. They are the reigning world champions Robson and Korn. They are the main contenders now for this medal, and they're going to put the challenge down to the British boat, and they have done straight away.
And no surprise that the Canadians have gone out in front. This is their race pattern. It's the way they won the World Championships last year. It's the first time they've met the British boat, unbeaten all season, and we expect them to go out like this. Very, very stunning pace in the first part of this race.
So as they move now towards 250 metres there, we're looking at the British pair, Dot Blackie and Cath Bishop, coached by Mike Spracklin, first in Munich, first in Harswinkle, and they know the challenge is coming from this pair, the Canadians, the world champions. And previously, the British boat have been very slow in the first 500 metres, and that's what they've been working on over the last couple of weeks, and had showed a little bit in the early part of this regatta in the opening heats, but the Canadians laying down the gauntlet this afternoon.
Coming up to 500 metres there, and the British pair would like to have been closer at this point. Canadians rowing superbly well. Their coach Al Morrow, he coached the Olympic champions back in 1992 in this event, Marnie McBean and Kathleen Heddle, so he's very experienced, and they're really paying tribute to their coach. Beautifully smooth style, boats not checking at all, coming up through 500.
500 metres in the final of the women's pair. It is in first place Canada, in second place Australia 1, in third place Australia 2. Great Britain, Dot Blackie and Cath Bishop currently in fourth position. They're about 4 seconds, a little over a length down. Don't worry about that at this stage. They have got a blistering middle 1,000 metres. So that's what they're going to rely on, and that's what we're going to hope that they're going to kick into in this second 500. But we're looking at the reigning world champions. We haven't seen them on the scene this year, and that they've come on the scene with a huge impact.
Emma Robinson there, just calling to Alison Korn. Very, very poor steering. We see them over the buoys there. Alison Korn steering with her foot at stroke. She'll be very displeased about that. And it's a chance for the Australians next to them, just out of shot. And the British pair there on their right to come back maybe in this second 500 metres. 2,000 metres long this course, and we see down the course there.
The smooth rowing from the Canadian pair. The British pair, Dot Blackie and Cath Bishop, they did not concentrate on the 8. They did not double up in the 8 today because they wanted to concentrate on this event. And unfortunately, the Canadians are just going away, stroke by stroke, at this particular point.
Very impressive row from the Australians there. Anna Oslin's at stroke, tough competitor. She rose 6th in the Australian 8, and she'll be racing later on today. Very impressive performance from them because they've already raced this morning in the Coxless 4, the Australian Coxless 4, which won, and they're in second place. But we expect the British pair to come through and do something as they pass the 1,000-metre point. That is where they're really strong, but they're leaving it very late, Gary.
Canadians, Martin, have just taken on the first 1,000 metres, and they've blown away the field. It's going to take a miracle row by the British to come back into first place. But as the crews now approach 1,000 metres in the final of the women's coxless pair, it is in first place Canada, and look at that. Opened up not only clear water, but miles of clear water. In second place, it is Australia 1, Jodie Winter and Anna Oslins. And in third place, it's Australia 2. The British boat now coming through in fourth position. Let's see what they can do now in this third 500 metres. Traditionally, they push at the 1,100 metre mark. They have got to do an almighty push just to get into second place.
Fantastic shot of Mount Pilatus overlooking this beautiful Lake Rothsay. Conditions here are slight headwind, but it's not bothering these two Canadians. They've held that rhythm all the way down the course. Very, very relaxed, smooth around the finish. You can see a shot there, the boat hardly rising and falling. That's always the sign of a good technique. But the British pair, some 2 or 3 lengths behind them, are going to have to dig in this third 500.
The outstanding thing about this Canadian pair is they're also doubling up in the 8 later on this afternoon, and so they're putting in a good performance here. That'll take them through to the rest of the afternoon with confidence. But smooth rowing from the Canadian pair. There's just dynamic, absolutely dynamic as they open up clear water, and the race really is for second place. And this between, at the moment, Australia 1. They are closest to us in lane 5, and on the far side as we go through 1250, it is Australia 2. They're battling out, and then behind them it is the crew from Denmark, Rindam and Vrij. They're in 4th position. Nothing from the British boat at the moment, with about 600 odd meters to go.
And it's very surprising. The British boat rode through this Australian pair we're looking at now, Jodie Winter and Anna Oslins, 3 weeks ago in Halsewinkel in the last 500 metres. But I can't help thinking that they're suffering from having raced at Henley last week. They were very down, losing to America in the final. And I think the post-Henley Blues have got to Dot Blackie and Cath Bishop, and it's why we're not seeing them in contention for at least a silver medal position at this stage in the race, Gareth.
I think you're right there, Martin. You know, they raced in the 8 last weekend, and there's a lot taking out of them, although these girls also raced in it. But it's at 500 metres to go. Final of the women's coxless pair, a length of clear water to the Canadian pair. In 2nd place, it is Australia 1. At this stage, they're going to take the silver medal. In 3rd place, Australia 2. Great Britain, the blistering sort of middle 500, middle 1,000 meters hasn't really happened today. I can only put it down, we can only put it down really to Henley last week. But it is this boat we're looking at in lane 4, Canada, who will take this event at this particular point. But it's Australia in lane 5 putting on a pretty good push at this stage.
And Australia just looking back at the camera. If the camera just panned back a little further, we'd see Great Britain, Cath Bishop and Dot Blackie putting in their traditional finishing spurt. The rate's coming up to about 35, 36 strokes a minute, but they're going to need some more power to get through the boats on the far side, Australia and Denmark.
The Canadians now coming through 300 meters to the finish. They have got a length ahead of Australia 1. But it is Great Britain now they have to put on a huge push if they're going to come back into even the bronze medal position.
And this Canadian pair, very impressive. Likewise, the Australians too, Jodie Winter and Anna Oslins. Just see them there challenging Emma Robinson and Alison Korn for the lead. Both of these pairs will be racing in the women's 8. They're both the powerhouse women, 5 and 6 positions in the 8. These are the top 2 pairs out of Canada and Australia.
So we're looking there at 1st and 2nd at the moment. The Australian boat closest to us, they continue to increase their rate. They haven't got the overlap. It will be Canada that take this particular event. Great Britain currently in 4th position. You can't see them in your picture. They're trying gallantly to increase the rate, but it's not going to happen for them today. It'll be a day for Canada. It'll be a day for Australia in 2nd place. And the crew from Denmark in lane 2, they're putting on the challenge for the 3rd position. As Australia in the top part, they actually are out of the race, but it is on the line. The crew from Canada who take 1st, and the crew from Australia, the 1st boat, who take the 2nd position. Denmark coming in 3rd, with Great Britain just coming in on the 4th position.
Yeah, and Britain, I think, will do well in the World Cup, the individual World Cup title, because they won the last 2 World Cup regattas.
So confirmation there of the result of this particular race. Canada in 1st place, and back there in 4th place, Great Britain. However, Great Britain win the World Cup for the women's coxless pair, and they have lots to do now until the World Championships in September.